Hello, Adam. So congratulations on Memoirs of a Snail. It's become one of my favorite animated films. I absolutely love the film. I really, really like it. You must be so proud, especially as you were shortlisted for a Golden Globe nomination as well.
Oh, for sure. I think I've been using the word relief a lot because it was 8 years of my life, and thank God it wasn't a waste of time. I'm relieved for myself, the artists who helped me made the film, and to be honest, we really didn't expect it to do this well. Our budget was tiny. We had a lot of challenges. COVID, of course, was a big spanner in the works. But yeah, we're just thrilled, and it means I might be allowed to make another one.
Well, let's hope so. So I understand that elements of the film are based on family and friends. So how do they feel about seeing themselves on the big screen?
Well, my family always get nervous when I start writing a new screenplay. Are they going to be in it? But yeah, all my films, all seven of them, are based on my family and friends. Just because I'm a lazy writer, and it's much easier to steal from real life than it is to sit down and invent a character out of thin air. And I've always wanted to make films that have a sense of authenticity and believability, and that they sort of ring true. And so that's why I just mine the stories of my friends because truth is stranger than fiction. And even though these are blobs of clay, I want them to be very identifiable, relatable, that they somehow resonate. And that's happened with this film, which is again a big relief.
Now, your style of animation, or stop motion rather, like Ray Harryhausen, who worked on his own, you work solely, you animate solely on your own. Now, it's a tremendously time-consuming process. There's got to be times where you think, oh, I need to hire a team to help me with this.
Oh, well, no, I certainly do on the features. Yeah, no, that the shorts I work in isolation, and that's why I love making shorts because you have absolute control. You get to play God. But certainly on the features, no, I have a lot of help. And actually, someone worked out that if I'd made this new film by myself, it would have taken 235 years. So sadly, I have to bring people in reluctantly, But no, the people I've brought in, my dad used to say it's hard to soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys. So make sure you surround yourself with people who are far more skilled and experienced than you. So yeah, on this film, I brought in animators who had worked for decades, and cinematographer who's 63. So really skilled people who, yeah. The trick is to make it look like I'd done it all by myself.
So, now something I wanted to ask you about, and question. It's what I think animators call it the three finger syndrome. I don't know if I've got that right. It seems like you know what I'm talking about. In that drawing a fourth finger, it becomes frustrating and it's an economy of time, and all that comes with it. Is there the same with stop motion animation?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I certainly lose a finger because I my fingers are very chunky, and for some reason five looks like six. So whereas if your animation style is very thin looking, a lot of manga is very stick figure like, and that's fine. So you can just have the normal four fingers and a thumb. Wallace and Gromit, and now Wallace, he's four fingers and a thumb, but Simpsons, I think they're three fingers and a thumb.
Yeah,
If
Simpsons is definitely three fingers.
Yeah. So, and then they've got chunky fingers too. I call them Elton John sausage fingers. Yeah, so I think it just looks wrong sometimes. You think, oh, yeah, but it's not. It's actually just it's aesthetics.
What are the most problematic aspects then of stop motion? Because it is so time consuming.
Yeah, look, I think the biggest one is gravity, because things that are airborne, we have to work out how we're going to let them fly through the airframe at a time. The old days, we'd have fishing line holding it up. Sometimes you
Right.
could see the fishing line. Now we use rigs, and then in post production, we digitally remove the rig. So gravity is a problem. Walking's incredibly difficult. But then things like atmospheric effects, so like rain, wind, water is very tricky. We use all sorts of things to create water, see-through vinyl, cling wrap, sexual lubricant we use for tears. It's wonderful stuff for tears. So fire's a nightmare. So we use yellow cellophane. A lot of these things we could do digitally as digital visual effects, but in my films we prefer to do things 100% in camera, so we can say to the audience what you just saw was 100% handmade, and there's no CGI at all. And so I'm proud to say that after 7 films, we certainly use digital cameras, LED lights. The editing's done digitally with computers. We use software to help us capture the frames, but everything in front of the camera is traditional.
Not using CGI, I mean, it's almost unheard of in today's filmmaking. Is that something that you are absolutely adamant that you will adhere to for the rest of your films? Feature
Oh,
film?
for sure. Yeah, look, I think, and there's a lot, there's a real, the pendulum seems to swung back to more in camera, even in live action, special effects that are done traditionally. And even just look at all the Star Wars films that after the 3 prequels and the new film started being made, they would make the creatures with actual masks and latex and foam rather than doing CGI creatures. A lot of it is hybrid, though, that it's a mix of traditional and CGI. It really depends on the filmmaker and what sort of aesthetic and what sort of artistic principles they want to adhere to. I mean, I'm certainly a purist, a traditionalist, a bit of a Luddite. I still do my storyboards on paper. I don't use a tablet. So yeah, I think it's just up to the director really what they want to do.
So, Memoir of a Snail is, as I understand it, part of a trilogy of trilogies that you're going to make. And I think this is, as you said, number 7. So, this would be the first part of your last trilogy. So, what can we look forward to for parts 8 and 9?
Well, yeah, so 1996 when I was at film school, I came up with this pretentious idea of spending my life making 9 films, 3 short shorts, 3 long shorts, and 3 features. And yes, I've made 7. So all I've got left are I've got 1 feature and 1 long short, and then I can die. I'm the someone called me the other day the Quentin Tarantino of the plasticine world. I think he wants to make 10, is it, or
Yeah.
9?
Well, I was
10.
going to ask you about that because he's got this idea of just making 10 films, which his next one would be his last,
Yeah.
because he just wants to leave a perfect body of film. Is that your sort of perspective on it as well?
Yeah, I think I'd rather leave behind quality, not quantity. And 9 is a nice, I love the 3 times 3 is 9. I love that configuration. Um, but also too, my films take so long to make that really, sadly, I would, there's no way I could ever make 10 features in my lifetime in stop motion. I mean, apart from the fact they're very slow to shoot, adult boutique art house claymated films for adults are very rare, and there's not a massive market for them. I mean, I'm glad to say that the market has grown and my films now reach a wide audience, but they're still incredibly difficult to finance.
Um, I'm just going to ask you one very, very quick one to finish off with. It's such a great little film, but what is your perfect animated feature film that you just love?
Oh, well, this is a thing. I mean, I don't watch a lot of animation, to be honest. I love documentaries. I read a lot, and I love live action films. And of course, the great David Lynch passed away today.
Yeah.
Um, I always cite The Elephant Man as one of my favorite films, just because it was one of the first films I saw as a youngster on the big screen that was for adults, and I shouldn't have been in the cinema. I was underage. But that film really struck me because it wasn't just, it was black and white, but it was also, it had a lot of humanity in it. And I think it was one of David Lynch's best. So, in memory of Mr. Lynch, I would say The Elephant Man.
That's great. Thank you, Adam. As I say, I really like the film, and I really look forward to whatever you've got next for us. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Simon.